Hi everyone, hope you're all well. I suggested to Sally last week in light of the current situation um, worldwide and this constant fear that's running around the world as it is. Um, just that I could maybe put a couple of videos out there just to try and help people um, just relax a little bit and sort of come out of the head a little bit and just try and remain focused and rational. So here we are. So I'm going to do a couple of videos. I'm going to do this one, which is based around breathing, and then I'll do another one that has around a 10-minute guided meditation on it, which again you can just listen to, nothing to do, no stress, just sit there, listen to it, and just ultimately follow the instructions that I guide you through. And both these videos are just in an attempt just to help you relax and to calm down. Not to say that you're all stressed out as it is, but it just helps. So the first thing I'd just like to say about this video that we're doing at the moment is it's going to be on focusing on the breath. Now, in my understanding, and it is my understanding of the mind and the way the mind works, the mind currently in this day and age, and this works for kids, it works for mums and dads, grandparents, is massively overstimulated. In the work that we do, most of us are sat in front of computer screens all the time and constantly we have this overload of information coming in through the eyes into the head. And no matter where we look, when we're travelling about, when we're driving on the motorway, when we're driving down the road, we're behind a bus, billboards, we're constantly being fed this information into the mind. And it's very difficult to get the mind to switch off. So what you tend to find is that in most people that don't practice meditation or breathing techniques, there's sort of a top and a bottom separation. So people tend to live in the head, and everything happens in the head, and that's a bit of a scary place to be in at sometimes, because there's a lot goes on in the head. There's a lot of words and there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of conflict in the head. So what I aim to do is just to give you a couple of techniques that will help in calming the mind and sort of bring you back into the body. Once we're back into the body, then the mind does start to quieten. Now, again, in my understanding, the only way the mind does run riot is if it's in conflict. So when I say it's in conflict, it's asking about something or it's arguing with you about something. So there's always some sort of conflict there in order for it to exist. If we remove that conflict, then it can't exist. Sounds simple enough. Very simple concept, but obviously making that a reality is much more difficult. So how, you might ask, do we do that? Well, I mentioned already that the video's on breathing, and it is as simple as breathing. So one thing that we all do every single second of the day is breathe. But who can, hand on heart, say that at any point during the day they actually stop and focus on the process of breathing? I know I get waylaid with a lot of stuff during the working day, and tend to miss out on quite a lot of the day by not focusing on the breath. And once you sort of start using these techniques, you will find that you just sort of pinch yourself a couple of times in the day and just say, right, I'm going to stop, even if it's for 30-40 seconds. I'm just going to do this technique and just watch how the mind starts to calm and you feel so much calmer. So the one of the two techniques I'm just going to talk to you about briefly is, the first one is belly breathing. Now, some of you might have done this if you've done any holistic practices, yoga, tai chi, anything like that. They tend to use belly breathing again for its properties of calming the mind. So to focus on the belly breathing, it's quite awkward initially, because what we're actually asking you to do is to breathe in a different way, in a mindful way. So normally, if I was to breathe in and I said to somebody, take a deep breath in, you see the first thing that happens is the chest rises. Okay, that's because of the mind, the overactive mind, and everything wanting to rise. Okay, we want the opposite to happen. So we want everything to come down rather than go up. So when we do the breath in, we want the belly to expand. And you'll be saying, how do I get that to happen? But it is quite easy to do once you focus on it. So as you breathe in, I know you can't see properly, but you see the belly expand. As you breathe out, the belly comes back in. So I breathe in, belly comes out, breathe out, the belly goes back in. Now, just to show you again the opposite way that most of us do breathe when we take a deep breath in, is when we breathe in, the chest rises. So what I'm asking you to do is just focus on the belly. So as you take that deep breath in, the belly will expand. As you breathe out, the belly contracts. Okay, now with that, the mind can only concentrate on one thing at once. Sounds too good to be true, really, but it is true, that it can only focus on one thing at once. So if we take the mind's awareness away from all of this mental chatter that's going on in the mind, and we focus on that breath, then you'll be surprised how quickly the body starts to calm and the mind starts to quieten. So the way that we do that is by the belly breath. So as we breathe in, you say to yourself, don't have to say it out loud. Yeah, so as you breathe in, you just say, I'm breathing in. And as you exhale, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. And I'm breathing out. Okay, so focusing on that, just those words, and you can substitute those words for anything you want them to be. Yeah, it doesn't matter what those words are. The fact is that the words are there. As long as the words are there, then your mind will calm straight away. And in conjunction with the breath, you will almost instantly become calmer. What will happen, and I guarantee this will happen, and this is the toil of doing breathing exercises and meditation, is the mind is very good at going, you're trying to trick me. So because the mind's trying to trick you, what it will do, it'll think of something other than what it's been thinking about, to sort of distract you and make you think about something else. So what will happen, your mind will start to wander. Okay, so when the mind does wander, initially you won't notice that it's done that. Okay, when you do notice that it's done that and you start thinking about something else, under no circumstances punish yourself for that. That is part of the breathing exercise. And the realization that it has wandered off is the exercise. So the thing to do once you've realized it's wandered off is go, okay, you've wandered off, bring it back to the breath, and just start saying to yourself again, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And then as you do that, you can, after a few minutes, you can drop the saying of the breath, of the breathing in, breathing out. But then I would always suggest every 10, 15 breaths, just be aware if the mind has started to wander. If it has, just bring it back to the breath. And then constantly just say to yourself, I'm breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, and that can be as deep or as shallow as your lungs work. It doesn't have to be as long as I was doing it. It can be infinitely shorter. It can be infinitely longer. So there's no set time on how to do that. Just make it comfortable and don't stress it, don't force it. So that's the belly breathing. The only other technique I wanted to show you briefly, and it is a different one, but just works exactly the same way in taking the mind's focus off the chatter and onto a physical process of coming to the breath. And it's called square breathing. So we're imagining the breathing in, then we hold the breath, then we exhale, then we hold the breath. We breathe in, we hold the breath, we exhale, we hold the breath. So again, depending on how deep or shallow your breath is, depends on how long the holding of the breath is for. So I would normally start with about 3 seconds. So you breathe in, hold for 3 seconds, and exhale. Hold for 3 seconds. Breathe in, hold for 3 seconds, breathe out. Hold for 3 seconds. Breathe in, hold for 3 seconds, breathe out, hold for 3 seconds. So again, that's just another technique that you can use, and whichever one works for you, just work on that one. It doesn't matter which one it is, they both do exactly the same thing. So I shall leave you with those. Any questions, drop me an email, and I'll be happy to help. Give me a call if you need to chat about anything. Speak to you soon.